Hello, my internet fans! It's another episode of Stat Boy Rants. Yay! And this episode, which is not being numbered, but it's still going, it'll be numbered eventually, is a spin-off of the Sean Black interview that Renegade did in 2011, which was only a couple days ago. Haha. But a couple comments have come in saying that they want to know the story of Stat Boy, me, joining up with the Santino Brothers and training, because during the interview I mentioned that Sean Black was there and he started training that day as well. So we have to go back in time to about October, November 2009, and a mutual friend of ours, Dubbar Swift, Ryan Ramos, comes up to me one day and he says, you know, I'm with the Santino Brothers in Norwalk. Why don't you come along and let's see if we can't make a referee out of you. I'm like, okay, why not, you know? And I'd always wanted to just get in the ring. Didn't really want to take bumps like a wrestler, didn't want to be a manager, just wanted to get into the ring, just to see what it's like, you know, and goof around and, you know, hit the ropes and climb on the turnbuckle and see 50,000 fans in front of me, you know, the typical childish fun stuff, you know. That's what I want to do in a ring. I just want to goof around and have fun. And so one day we get on the 173 and we go all the way out to Norwalk, and then we have a nice little mile walk to the school. And the school was at somebody's house. In the garage, in the driveway. The driveway was big enough to hold maybe, I would say maybe a 16 by 16 or a 18 by 18 ring. Not WWE size, not 20 by 20. That's too big. And it was covered by a white tent. And in the garage there were wrestling mats for, you know, training for MMA type stuff. And also they had their Santino wallpaper and for promos and things like that. And so I walk in, you know, say my hellos, and the first person to officially welcome me is Jezebel Romo. She's Chaos's manager. And she goes, "Are you my new referee?" And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm your new referee. Well, she welcomes me in, she sits me down on the chair, and, you know, I just watch what's going on. What's a day like at Santino's? And, you know, of course, Chaos and Mongo Santino, the Santino brothers, they are the head trainers or teachers, and all the students are there, and they're doing their drills, they're doing their stretches, they're doing their warm-ups. Just good old-fashioned wrestling training. It's like, when you think you're a wrestler, you can always learn one thing more. And a match started going on, and Jezebel said, you know, don't focus on the wrestlers, focus on the referee. Me, I'm marking out because it's like I'm only a few feet from my goal. I want to get in the ring. So it's kind of hard for me to look at the referee. I'm watching the action. And the first thing I notice is this referee, he didn't seem very authoritative, you know, because whether the match is a simple match or whatever, you know, you're a referee, you're the law, storyline wise. In reality, the wrestlers are in charge and the referee is just there to count the pin and make things go more smooth. So I'm asking questions, and it's like, you know, well, what will I be doing? You know, how will the training go? And things are being said, you know, and basically I'm still trying to focus on the ring, and basically it's going in one ear and out the other. Then I get an official introduction to Chaos, who I had briefly paid attention to when he was in XPW. I think he still had the blonde hair back then, but I didn't really know him. But, you know, he's a cool guy and all that, and he had this wild, crazy hair and all that, and there are pictures everywhere about him with the blonde hair, and his face is busted open, and all that. So then, class ends, and I'm just sitting there, and the students get up on the ring apron, and they do the whole, you know, Team Santino thing, and then one new student is taking chops. And these are honest to goodness knife edge chops. I mean, they are, his chest got purple. Not red, but purple. And I'm sitting there watching this, and I go over to Jezebel and I go, do I have to do that? She goes, you want to be in this school? Yes. And it's like, okay. And of course, now they got the guy in the corner. He's in the turnbuckle, and they're just going, wham, and it's bam, and it's loud. If you think it's loud on TV, it's louder in person. Next thing you know, I'm getting up close to the ring apron, and I'm saying, come on, man, I'm giving this guy his props. You know, it's like, come on, man, you can do this. This is nothing, you know. That was, I think, not cool on my part. I wasn't supposed to do that, but I was in the moment. And so he takes his chops, and, you know, now he's with the team. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it's like an initiation or it's like hazing, but it's definitely not hazing. But everybody has to take their chops. That's the rule, you know, and that's a good rule too, because if you're a wrestler, you got to learn how to take chops sometime. So then a couple weeks pass, and I call up Sylvia and I say, okay, I'll do it. I'm in. What do you want me to do? She goes, you know, come to the school and we'll just get started, just like that. And so I borrowed a bicycle from my downstairs neighbor with no brakes, and I ride from here all the way to Norwalk and show up at the school bright and early, like 8 o'clock in the morning, in like a t-shirt and sweats. You know, not the best of workout gear. And you know, I finally get in the ring, and we sit down and we do our stretches. We're doing like the butterfly stretch and the hurdler stretch and stretching out the legs. And then it's time, then the first drill is rolls, which are somersaults. And we're all lined up, and it's like, I haven't done a roll in like 25 years. I haven't done somersaults since I was like yay high and 6 years old. And they're kind of egging me on, they're kind of pushing me on. And I look over to Chaos, I go, you know, I'm brand new. I don't know how to properly do this. Get out of the ring and get on the mat and start learning. It's like, okay, no problem. Do what I'm told. And the first person to officially start training me was Famous B. And he showed me the proper way to do a roll. Basically stand up, tuck your head, and roll forward. Simple somersault. And it's like the simplest of moves. You know, you think anybody can do a somersault, but you got to do it right. And so I do one. It's like, okay, I'm back as a 7-year-old. And of course, the thing with the somersaults are, or the rolls, down here in your abs, that's where the main, it's not all leg, it's all abs. And let's face it, I don't have any. And if I do, they ain't working the right way. And of course, the momentum of somersaults makes you dizzy. So, it is what it is there. So I do a couple of them, and Famous B is, you know, he's happy with it. He goes, okay, now you're gonna do 6 in succession. It's stand up, roll, turn around, stand up, roll, turn around, stand up. Do it 6 times, front and back. Click. Okay. Do the first one. Do the second one. Do the third one. Do the fourth one. And I start to slow down and do the 5th one. And by the 6th one, I think scientifically wise, if you do 6 rolls in a row, you're gonna get dizzy. Unless you got some thing, whatever. And I literally have to grab onto the wall to keep from falling into it and landing on a boombox that's standing right over here, because I don't want to ruin that. And I think Chaos looks over and he goes, you know, what's the matter there, Mike? You dizzy? And I was like, yes, sir. Gather up, whatever. Gather up my senses, and I think even Famous B laughed at me. I mean, but hey, you know, I'm the new guy, so it's like 6 rolls, abs tighten up, and then of course you feel like you want to puke. I mean, if you're on a roller coaster, it's like, compared to like being on a roller coaster that's spinning you around over and over and over again. And he says, if you have to puke, go around to the side of the garage. And me, one, I hadn't eaten anything that morning. I was working on an empty stomach. So one, what can I puke up when there's nothing there? And I don't want to puke because as tough as wrestling is, you know, I don't want them to think, oh, he's puking, he's a wuss, he's a weakling, he's a pussy. You know, so I definitely don't want to do that. So you get the heaving in there, you know, and you're trying to breathe through. I'm trying to breathe through it and all that garbage. So now we're trying back rolls. Basically, it's, you know, stand up, lean back, ankles and feet over the head, stand up. And of course now the abs are really in shock. And it's like, I feel very awkward because I never did back rolls as a kid. Not once. So the thought of bringing my knees up to my chin and flipping over kind of made me feel uncomfortable. Again, the momentum makes me want to puke. And there were so many times, you know, B is trying to teach me the proper way to do it, and it's like, I'll be right back. Don't do it, come back. He tries to, be right back. And that made me feel like he was frustrated with me, which I totally understood because I was the new guy. About 20 minutes later, Mongo comes up to me, he goes, you know, has he puked yet? B says, no, he's holding it back. Mongo says, go puke! It's like, I can't. I haven't eaten anything and I don't want to. He goes, there's no shame in puking. Go and do it. I said, I'm good. I don't want to puke. We give up on the back rolls and then we try the shoulder roll, which is basically a front roll, but you turn kind of like 45 degrees and you just roll on the shoulder and stand up. Kind of like in a martial arts movie or something like that. And by this point, my brain wants to go, but my body doesn't. It's like I just couldn't do it. I was done. I only lasted maybe like half the session. I sat down on the chair. It's like frustrated, upset at myself, and whatnot. So then class ended. I said my thank yous. I shook everyone's hand like you're supposed to, and came home. Still, I had to ride the bike home, which wasn't too much fun. And I just came home and I posted on Facebook that I did my first day. I got some nice props and I was laid out. It's like I wanted to just be curled in a ball and not even move. So then the next week comes by and I go back and the school or the house is all closed up except for the garage door. So I let myself in. But the garage, not the garage door, the driveway door was unlocked. And the garage was closed, the back door was closed, and the ring was covered up, even though the tent was there. Call up Jezebel, hey, you know, what's going on? Oh, class is canceled this week. It's like, oh, that would have been nice to know. I rode my bike up here for nothing. She goes, well, you got some cardio out of it. Right, see you next week. So now we're the week before Thanksgiving 2009. And come back, and it's like, you know, say my hellos, help with the ring. Chaos calls me over, so you ready for your training? It's like, I thought I was. He goes, oh, no. You haven't begun yet. It's like, oh, yeah. Now I'm worried. I think the dad who owned the house made a joke. I never figured out who this guy was, but he goes, you know, oh, don't worry, man, we got the gurney all ready for you. And it's like, gurney? You're gonna need a casket for me when this is over. Plus, I did something really stupid that a lot of the guys talked about. I brought my photo album with all the wrestlers that I had taken pictures with. Big mistake on that part. It was cool and all that in the first few minutes. And then I think Chaos had to, you know, put that away and let's get started. It's like, okay, no problem, cool. Get in the ring, do the stretches again. They start to do their rolls. I go, you know, Chaos, I'm not quite ready with my rolls yet. Back on the mat. and we continue the rolls from 2 weeks ago. And the front rolls were okay, the back rolls were a little better. The right shoulder roll I actually started on, and I did a couple of them, but then when we did the left shoulder roll, I couldn't do it. It's like the right side went, but the left side didn't. Now, I'm right-handed. I throw a baseball with my right hand, throw a football, I kick with my right leg, I write right-handed. I sometimes can use my left hand for like typing on a computer screen. So maybe that's why I just couldn't do left quarter rolls than right. I mean, it was the same move, just flipped over. Then, of course, the frustration kicks in. It's like, it's the simplest of things, and I just can't do it. At some point in doing stuff, if you can't do it, you can't do it. No matter, like, I don't know, if you're playing baseball, okay? You just can't hit the ball. Why continue on? There was one point during the rolls where I couldn't even get up because I was so out of it. It's like I'm just standing, I'm actually just sitting there. I think that opened the floodgates to unleash the military factor of training. Many people don't know Jezebel had a background in the military, so I think that kind of rubbed off on everybody else because it's like they started going drill sergeant on my ass. But almost to the level of Full Metal Jacket. Think of that part. Basically, it's like I couldn't get up. Chaos is in the ring doing whatever. And he looks over at me and he goes, "What's up with Buttercup over there?" It's like, okay, great. Now I'm getting name called. That's real good. And next thing you know, I got Pinky Santino, Rico Dynamite, Lucha Machine, and Famous B all around me, throwing out every possible heel insult you can think of to, you want to be a wrestler? Are you kidding me? You can't even do a proper roll. What, you just want to sit on your chair and talk about this and back and forth? And it's like, okay, now I got 4 guys who are trained veterans just pounding my ass into the ground without even touching me. That just made me want to curl into a ball, because I am not confrontational. I hate confrontations. Step boy approved. But, so, I think then Jezebel came over and saved me. I don't remember the exact detail. And she wanted to focus on cardio, because she told me and taught me that sometimes there's only one referee for an entire show. If you've ever been to Mach 1, that's happened. K. Spence did that a couple times too. Our friend K. Spence, who's a referee. There are times where he's the only referee booked, so he has to keep going. So you have to be in shape. So Jezebel and I step off to the side. We stop the rolls for a little bit, and we focus on cardio. And then we start stretching again. So, so I'm sitting in the butterfly position. Next thing you know, I think Lucha Machine actually stands on my knee to get a better stretch. And it's like, ooh, that hurts. Because it's that muscle right down in here where your leg connects into your hip. So it's like, ow, that's never been stretched like that before. And then there's the hurdler stretch where, your legs are out to here, and they're trying to manipulate the leg to go as far as possible. And, of course, girls can do this stretch a lot easier than guys. So it's like, ah, ha, 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 what are you guys doing? And then we move into, like, push-ups. And I'll admit, I can't do a push-up to save my life. I can't even do girly, because look, I got bony arms, okay? I cannot do push-ups. I can try, but they don't want, it's the whole do or do not thing, So I'm trying to push whatever I can, and of course, I got them, pounding on my back, so it's like, oh, great. And now finally it's me and Jezebel one-on-one, and we start doing lunges. Knee to ground and up, knee to ground and up. 50 lunges on each side. You know, 50 on one leg and 50 on the other. And I've said before on my show, I've got bad legs. Okay, my legs get tired. You know, I can compare it to that restless leg syndrome that some people have, but I can sleep at night. You know, so it's like I did the 50 on one, and I did like 45 on the other, and it's like right in here in the quads, it got really tight, and I start slowing down. She goes, "Are you kidding me? Are you gonna stop at 45 when you're 5 away?" Had to fight through that. Then she wants me to do squats. I just did like 50 lunges, and then you want me to go straight into squats. My legs are about to fall off. I barely did 20 of those. And of course, the frustration factor kicks in. And then I start to doubt myself, and it's like, am I really going to do this? Can I really be doing this? She had me do sit-ups. That was okay. I had no problem doing sit-ups. In fact, even in school, in phys ed class, I did sit-ups better than I did push-ups. Don't know why. Then there was a exercise where I had to jog in place for like 5 seconds and then hit the ground. And I think it was called, you know, jumping on the grenade. That's a military expression too, because there are a lot of soldiers have sacrificed themselves by literally jumping on grenades. So I had to, you know, jump or jog, and then just hit the ground, just like that. I don't know if I had to fall or I don't know if I had to jump, but I had to hit the ground. And of course, the emotion of falling, the fear comes into play, and my arms hit first, and it's like, so now I'm slapping the ground, and then the shock wave hits or whatever, and it's like, ugh, my God, do I really have to do all this stuff? And then I was just done. I just couldn't go anymore. I said, I'm done. I wanted to say I was sorry, but I was told never to say those two words in a wrestling school. You never apologize in a wrestling school. And I said my goodbyes, and I walked out. I didn't say I quit, though. I just wanted to be done for the day. So I start to walk back towards the bus stop, and then I remembered I had some personal business to handle with Dabar. So I had to go back. It's like, I cannot believe I'm going back. So I went back to handle the business with Ryan. I went back into the school, and Jezebel sees me. She goes, "What are you doing back?" I says, I got business with Ryan. She goes, "Sit down, wait till class is over, handle your business and go." I say, okay. Class ends, and up on the ring apron, I look at Jezebel. I say, "Do I go up?" She goes, "Yes, ring up." Chaos looks me over. He says, "You know, how was the day?" And I remember Amanda. She's one of the female students, and she did the wah wah, like I did a bad job, which I admit to. I didn't feel like I was up to par. So I only remember saying that I wasn't going to quit. I know I said that. And got in, Team Unity, whatever, Santino's. And I'm just about ready to leave. And Chaos says, "Mike, you want to take some chops?" And it's like, oh boy, here we go. Why not? I had to redeem myself, because I did such a crappy job with the cardio and the training and the stretching and the rolls. I had to redeem myself. So off comes the shirt, off come the glasses. You know, I kept my watch on, which was a big mistake. And I went to take my cross off. And I think Mongo or someone says, "You might want to keep that on." I mean, for some spiritual help. And so I says, "How's it going to go?" He goes, "Keep your chin up, breathe through it, and don't move." It's like, okay. We're in the gym. He reaches way back and slap right across the chest. First one wasn't so bad. Reach way back, boom, again, right here. I can see my skin turning purple. Not red, but purple. So whatever. And then one more, and wham, one more. 3 chops from Chaos. I don't remember who else gave me chops that day, but about the 6th or 7th chop, I started flinching like mad. I mean, because if I see a fist coming at me, I'm going to cower up. Or a fist, a hand, a slap, anything. If I see it, I'm going to cower up. That's just the way I am. So I remember Lucha Machine grabbed my arms and pinned me behind, and it's like, okay, let's work with this. It's like, come on, go, quick, let's go. Bam, and then another one, and another one, and then they stopped at 9, and it's like, is that it? It's like, what, you want more? It's like, oh, make it an even 10. So then I go 10, then I went 11, then I went 12. The problem was it took like 18 swings to get 12 chops out of me. The last person to do it was Jezebel, and she deserved to chop me because I did such a crappy job. I even flinched when Jezebel chopped me. And that's what even was, it was horrible. So then it's like, I think everyone was pleased. Chaos gets out his camera, starts taking pictures. He goes, "Get mad, Mike, do something." So I just let out the Incredible Hulk scream with my chest as bright as the sun. And next thing, it's like everybody ran out of the garage and into the ring because apparently I screamed so loud they heard me halfway down the block. And, you know, that was pretty much it. Then, we filmed a vignette and I was supposed to play a doctor. Hence the name Dr. Butters. Whenever Chaos sees me, he ribs me by calling me Dr. Butters, which I hate that name. So, basically, the story was that Rico Dynamite and Chaos were doing a best of 7 series, and Chaos had injured his knee. And so there was a... So I was supposed to play the doctor type that would not allow Chaos to compete in a match. And of course, Rico beats him up, I checked the knee, and that was pretty much it. The next week after that was Thanksgiving. And I kind of had made... I kind of was sort of talking to them, saying, you know, it's Thanksgiving, I'm going to be working, work's going to be kicking in quite well, I don't think I'll have time to continue. Yet I still never said I quit. Because I kind of felt that they weren't too happy. It's like I didn't need to say I quit, they already knew I was going to. So I did show up for a pre-Thanksgiving class that was at night, but the only reason I went there was to pay my dues, literally. I literally had to pay for the classes. And I squared that away, so I was square with them. I think 2 weeks later, they invited me and the family to a holiday party, and I think Chaos asked me, you know, are you coming back? And I kind of said, no, I'm not coming back. And it's like I still didn't want to tell them that I couldn't do it. I just couldn't say those. It's like I wanted to say, Chaos, this isn't for me. Chaos, I can't do it. You know, but I just never did. Because like I said, I felt that they had already knew. I even wrote them letters on Facebook, or even MySpace, explaining why I wanted to be part of their crew, why I wanted to be a referee. You know, I never really got an answer back. And currently, you know, with me and the Santinos, you know, I think we're cool. We're acquaintances. You know, I'll go up to them, I'll shake their hands properly, I'll say, hey, how are you, whatever. I've invited Chaos and Jezebel to Disneyland 3 times. You know, they still haven't done that. Don't know why. It's just me being nice, you know. And, you know, it is what it is, you know. I've always said to both of them, though, the day I got chopped, which I called my baptism on the Sean Black interview, was the greatest day of my life. Because I took a total of 18 chops, 3 from Chaos, and whoever else was there, I don't remember, but I took those chops, and I was done. You know, I've accomplished something, you know? And, you know, like I say, Chaos is school, they're a tough school, but you gotta be tough in this business. Apparently I'm not. And I'm okay with that, you know? You can call me a quitter. You can call me a puss. I really don't care. I'm just going to let it go. You know? And like I said, Chaos and Jezebel and Mongo and everybody, the Santino brothers, they know what they're doing. So that's basically the story, you know? Like I say, they're friends of mine. We once in a while talk. And if you've got what it takes, look them up and get a hold of them, and they'll do the rest. So there's the story of me and the Santino brothers. I hope you enjoyed it. More shows are coming. Stat Boy out.